If you're grieving right now, I want you to know something. You're not behind, you're not broken, and you're not alone. Today, in this episode, I am joined with one of my best friends as we talk about some of the things that, when it comes to grief, we were not warned about. But we also share some of the things that we use today to help us get through it. Let's get to it. Today is going to be a interesting conversation as far as what the topic is, and I want us to definitely get right into it. But first, before I do that, I would definitely like to introduce you. As you know, Lenae has been one of my best friends for 4 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's 2026 now, so
Yeah,
5.
5 years. And you know, if there's one person I can say, like, I've had a lot of female leaders in my life as far as managers and or just mentors and things like that. But I had the pleasure of having her as a manager once, and that was a life-changing time for me. I never had a manager leading me, a female manager leading me in that type of way, and it was pretty good. It actually challenged my mind a bit,
Yeah.
both personally and professionally, but it also gave me like a hope in just certain things in life as far as the conversations we've had,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
I know back when I was managing, it was a crazy time in your life.
Yeah.
You went through a lot. I had gone through a lot.
yeah.
It was an awesome time, too, though.
Yeah, it was. And I gotta, I just gotta just give my flowers to you as far as thanking you for, again, even doing this episode and just being part of the Not Perfect But Ready podcast.
Of course, anytime,
So,
man. I'm honored to be here, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. I mean, we can go further into a little bit about you and yourself. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about you and some of your hobbies, some things you like to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I am from the Pacific Northwest. I love the Pacific Northwest. One of my hobbies that I have recently found out is I love going down to the waterfront and looking for little sea creatures, which I know sounds very silly and juvenile, but it has been very healthy in my healing process, I think.
Okay.
So I call it flipping rocks. I just go down to the waterfront and I flip rocks and look for tiny crabs and creatures I can find. And then I usually just pick them up, talk to them for a minute, and put them back down. But to me, it's a fun time. I also, other hobbies, I'm very artistic. So I like to draw, I like to paint.
Yes.
Probably haven't been as much as I should be, but that's something I definitely like to do. And then movies. I love to see movies and just spend time with the people I love. I think so that's probably my biggest hobby, if we can consider it a hobby, is just spend time with people in my life.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's sitting at a meal and just talking about our day, or if it's going to get our nails done together, or if it's going to just sit on the couch and be in each other's presence.
Yeah. And Lenae is definitely such a people person, an artsy person. Did you
Big
take
time.
art or anything?
I did, yeah.
Okay,
In
I
high
was about to
school.
say,
In high school, I definitely
Some of
did.
the stuff you put together, like, ain't no way a regular person did that. No way. There's no way. Well, thank you for sharing with us about that. Today is a unique conversation we're going to have. We're just going to be talking about, honestly, just the outcome and the things that nobody told us about that you go through when it comes to grieving and dealing with grief. And before we get into that conversation, I wanted to actually read off some things about it, because some of us may not know some of this stuff about grieving. And it's more of a natural response to loss. I think we all understand that part about grief and where it's coming from, a loss of something, right, or someone. It does not follow a timeline, and it does not look the same for everyone. That's a big one.
I think that's the biggest one, honestly.
Yeah, no timeline, and it don't look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different for us all, and grief can show up emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So those are kind of the things we think about, or that's like the definition of grief, and that's some of the things we don't think about. Again, it doesn't have a time.
No.
It doesn't look the same, and it shows up in many different ways.
Yeah, and I think that can confuse people too, because I know when I grew up learning about grief, there was always the stages of grief.
Mm-hmm.
People always say there's these stages of grief you go through,
Mm.
and it's like, oh, I'm not going to remember all off the top of my head, but like anger, acceptance, depression, guilt, all the different
Yeah.
stages. And so it makes you think that when you lose someone, you're going to go through those stages, and at the end, it's going to be okay, and you're going to be
Oh,
all better,
wow. Yeah.
which it's not like that. It's
No.
not like that. It's not these stages that you just get to walk through and get done with it.
Right.
Like you said, it has no timeline. I feel like grief is kind of like a circle. It constantly is going around. It never leaves.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just doesn't hurt as bad.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I can't think of being explained growing up what grief was,
Yeah.
or even the stages really.
I guess I have a unique experience because I got introduced to grief early. You know, my dad died when I was 9. And my mom at the time was going to school to be a counselor. So she was very much like, it's a clinical thing we go through. We go
Yeah.
through these stages. It's going to happen. You're going to
Yeah.
have these feelings.
Yeah.
And at 9, I don't think I really understood that, of course. But so yeah, I guess it is unique for me. It was explained earlier to me than it would be for some people.
Wow. Yeah. And you mentioned the stages. I'm actually going to list them out.
Yeah.
Right here. It's, so there are 5 stages. There's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Yes.
That's pretty crazy because when you said that, it's like, yeah, once I found out about the stages and things like that, you think, oh, okay, you go through these in order. And then once you're done with the acceptance piece, it's over.
Right, it's accepted. You've
yeah,
accepted
yeah.
it. You're good
Yeah,
now.
right.
It's a little misleading to
Yeah.
people, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
There's the common symptoms of grief is brain fog or difficulty concentrating. Like if you have a difficult time concentrating, that's one. Physical exhaustion, irritable or anger, guilt or regret, feeling behind in life, and then moments of joy followed by guilt.
That's a
crazy.
big one.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big one. And that's something I've come to terms with this most recent loss of mine. Because I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. So sorry. So sorry. Say your last sentence again.
Was the moments of joy followed by
Followed
guilt.
by grief. So when somebody goes, you just think you are sad. You're so devastated. You're so sad that when a moment finally comes where you laugh again,
Yeah.
or you hold someone's hand again, or you have just a good moment and you're enjoying it, it hits you like, oh, my person's still gone though.
Yeah.
And so there's that guilt of like, I'm out here laughing and enjoying and eating and drinking and living, but my person is gone. So there's that guilt of not, like, I shouldn't be enjoying this without them anymore.
Yeah, no, that's big. And actually, yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get
let's do
into
it.
sharing our stories. I mean, we both experienced losing someone.
Yes.
I lost an ex-wife. You've lost...
The man
partner.
I was seeing, the
Yeah.
partner, yeah.
and both within the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly. Both suddenly.
Both suddenly.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first. I guess I'm going to let you at least just share your story about, like, can you just share your story about your loss and what it was, and then what did it look like right after that?
Oof, yes. So I was seeing this man, John. John was his name. I'll say his name. He can't sue me now.
This is why.
But John was the man I was seeing. We had known each other for just under 2 years when he passed. So we had been seeing each other for about a year and some change. He passed suddenly from a blood clot that was caused by medications. And unfortunately, they weren't able to revive him in time. It was right after is probably the most surreal moment. When I found out, it was late at night. I actually had been at a friend's bachelorette party, and I came home and I was exhausted, and I was getting ready to go up into my apartment, and I stopped and I looked at my phone, And I saw this weird post from a mutual friend of ours. And so I immediately reached out to him because I couldn't get a hold of John. And he let me know John had passed. And I was still sitting in my car in my parking lot and, of course, broke down. And I remember I was just so exhausted because I had this bachelorette party that we had been doing the night before all through the day. And so it had been a big celebration, and I was so excited to come home and go to sleep. And then after that, I didn't want to go to sleep because I knew when I went to sleep and I woke up the next day, it would be real.
Yeah.
And I was trying to stay in that moment of limbo of like, okay, yeah, they're telling, that's part of that denial part, right?
Yeah.
That part of that denial part and that bargaining part all in one.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is they're telling me he's gone, but in my head, if I just don't go to sleep tonight, I don't have to wake up tomorrow and face it.
Right.
And I think that was the hardest part is I just stayed up all night thinking about him and just in disbelief. And unfortunately, like everybody, I had to go to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and it was real. And it's just earth shattering. And it's earth shattering in a way that is so personal to you. But it's hard because you look around at everybody. You know, I'd walk out to go to the store and everybody's enjoying themselves. They're getting groceries. They're laughing. Kids are playing, you know, it happened June 1st. Soon as sun is shining. Yeah. Things are blooming. Everybody, the world keeps spinning around you and you feel like you're just stuck in it and no one knows that you're stuck in it. Yeah. And I think that's one of the hardest parts about grief is how isolating it feels. You know?
Yeah. That's crazy. Kind of the same situation a little bit as far as like getting that information at night.
Yeah.
Like right when we should be resting.
Yeah. Allowed to let your guard down in your home, in your safe space.
Yeah. Man, caused by medication too. Like that's a whole different type of like what, why, what's going on. You know, so I can't imagine that. I also, I mean, mine was a little bit different. I literally had just got off the phone with this person.
Yeah.
So I literally just got off the phone with my ex-wife. And we were having a conversation about my daughter, disciplining my daughter or something. Something about YouTube. She was trying to find a video on YouTube, and my ex-wife called me because she was telling me, like, hey, you know, talk to Nevaeh. She's being rude about it. I can't find this video. And she's just being rude about it or whatever. And I remember I said, in my mind, I'm thinking, now, why are you calling me to discipline our child over the phone? This is crazy. So I was like, all right, let me talk to her. So I was like, Nevaeh, what's going on? And she's like, she's not listening to me. I was like, but it's a YouTube video. And she said, yeah, but I don't know. She's just not listening to me. I was like, okay, whatever. Well, relax. She'll find the video. You need to apologize to your mom and tell her you love her. And she apologized and said she loves her. And then I get back on the phone. It's like, hey, don't call me.
Over the phone?
Over the phone. What is wrong with you? And you know, we hung up, and like 7-8 minutes later, I get a call from her roommate that she like passed away. The ambulance are on the way and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I just got off the phone with her. What's going on?
Right, there's no way.
No way. So I get there and I grab my daughter. We sitting in the living room. The team, everybody just trying to bring her back, whatever, perform CPR, all this other stuff. And I'm thinking, great. She done blacked out over something because she's had a couple of blackout moments or whatever. So I'm like, all right, great. Look, now we got to go through all this. So I'm kind of in denial at that point. Like, all right, she'll be back. Like it's
right, like it was before.
Yeah, she's had a couple of blackouts before, whatever. And I remember getting to that hospital, or after actually, me and my daughter went to the car, and we sat in the car for about 10 minutes, and they still working. And one of the ambulance what was
paramedic.
Paramedic. One of the paramedics was like, I had a brain fog. See,
that's one.
One of them was like, you know, hey, if they're still doing something this long, it's
Try to prepare you for
chances
it.
are, do you want us to send somebody? I was like, okay, yes. And at that time, my pastor, he still works in, oh, why did I forget what they're called? But the people that come out and kind of help you with preparing for the lost, they work for the police department and stuff like that. But Chapman,
Chapman.
Chapman, yeah. He came, I asked, like, send me Steve. Like, don't, So
Yeah.
they sent my pastor, and we got to the hospital. They were still working on her, figured things out, whatever. And me and my daughter, a few things happened in between there, but me and my daughter, by the time we decided to go home, this was like 1 a.m. We pulled up to my apartment, and as soon as I turned the car off, my daughter, she's 4 at this time, she goes, "Yep, mommy's dead. Mommy's passed away."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Who told you that?"
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, who? First of all, you're 4. How do you even know what's going on right now,
Or what that even
or what that
means.
even means? So I got tissue here.
I know, or you like a little baby Bay. I'm just thinking of her. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Come prepared.
Ready.
So she's saying this in the back seat, and I remember looking back like, who told you that? Nobody. We don't know.
Right.
Yeah, just relax. And she's like, yeah, no, she was doing something she wasn't supposed to do, and she just passed away. I don't know. And I said, that's wild. She's 4 years old. How does she know this?
Yeah. How's she comprehending this?
Exactly. So we get into the apartment. Of course, she's gonna sleep with me because now I can't deal with her being by herself right now. So, but I get a call from the doctor, and he left a long voicemail. It was like, hey, they are trying to tell me it's drug overdose. I'm looking at the scans and things right now. She actually had a brain aneurysm, so I don't want you guys to think it was the drugs in her system. It was a brain aneurysm. And I was like, okay, well, doesn't really make it any better that is she here or not?
That's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, and I still have that voicemail. Actually, that voicemail is 3 years old, and I
Saved
still
right there,
still have it. So, but it was just like, okay, whatever. So I finally go to sleep. Now I was on the phone with my mom for about 2 hours around this time too.
Yeah.
She's just listening in. She's all the way in Missouri, so that's 4 hour difference. So.
Right. She's...
I remember when I called her too. Now this is midnight her time. It's about 10 p.m. our time, whatever.
Right.
I called her, and I couldn't say anything, and she knew something was wrong. She could tell I was on the phone, but she just knew something was wrong. She just starts just praying and thanking Jesus and all this other stuff just to kind of keep the spirits calm. And I was just I remember saying, that's all I remember saying.
Yeah.
And she was like, I got it. So she just took over.
Mama knew.
She knew. So at least when it comes to this first half of the question, like when it happened, how was you feeling? And then right after that, where was it? And for me, it was in the moment, I had to just guard and protect my daughter.
Right.
And then after processing what was going on, I just snapped into like denial, but also,
Right.
Okay, all right, cool. I got to be the strong one. I got to call families. I got to call her parents. I got to call,
Straight into arrangements
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
next processes.
Yeah. So it was, for me, it was definitely like denial and then a shift gears and getting all this stuff done.
Right.
So that was mine. It was crazy, especially when my daughter said what she said. So
I remember that, man. I remember when you told me. I remember coming over and helping decorate the Christmas tree with Nevaeh and you after, try to brighten some spirits.
Yeah, man. Dang.
But yeah, and I remember you telling me that Vay said that too, and I was so surprised because like I had experienced grief early, but I don't think I even comprehended it at 9.
Yeah.
How she was able to comprehend it
Yeah.
at 4.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild, and I remember even having to tell her like 2 days later, okay, so it's just us now.
Right.
And she just had the most like calmest look on her face, like, okay, so are we not going to go see her at the hospital? I'm like, no,
No.
she's not going to be there. You
Right.
know, so just, and there were times, of course, where she was definitely missing her mother, but I think her spirits was already settled on, like,
Yeah.
and not that there's not going to be work and things to be done, and as she gets older and stuff like that, processing stuff.
Definitely.
But in that moment, she handled it a lot better than I did.
Right.
So, and that was what was crazy to me. I mean, so you found out on a post,
Yes.
social media.
Yes.
How was that like? At least that like the next few days was reaching out to his friends, family. Like, how did that go for you?
It was strange because even though we were seeing each other, I hadn't met like his mom. His mom lives in the Midwest, like your mom, actually, not the same woman. So I had never met her, but he had told me all about her. And he has a sister back there too. His friends here, he had. One thing about John is he had an amazing group of friends, and these were friends that he had been friends with for like 10 to 25 years.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was really incredible. Like, these are like, we've been friends since this year, and it was amazing to see that. And luckily, his best friend, he was living with his best friend at the time, and so his best friend, was able to let me come over. We were able to go through some of his things. They kept me in touch about all of the arrangements, which was really nice because in the end they didn't have to. I really do appreciate that they let me in to grieve with them.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm someone who had only been around for less than 2 years in his life, and these people had been around for 20 to 25, they helped and they included me and they let me be a part of the grief with them, which I think was really amazing. I don't know if I could have been that generous with somebody if I lost somebody I had loved for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So they kept me in the loop, kept me in arrangements. He did have a memorial service. Probably it was like 3 weeks after he had passed. His mom had come up. They had made the arrangements. I got to meet his mom at his funeral, which was really nice. It felt really good to hug her and just thank her for making John. Like, that's all I did is I hugged her and I thanked her and I let her know he was a really special man and he had a really good heart and she had to have had something to do with that, you know?
Of course.
And then me and his friends and some other people went out after and we just really tried to celebrate him more than anything. John was a really funny guy. Like, he was known as the funny guy in the group. He always wore funny t-shirts. He was always making people laugh. He had stand-up comedy bits that he had written out, but he was too afraid to get on stage and do them. So I was always trying to encourage him to do it. And we always joked about it. And so it was nice to see his group of friends be able to get together, and even though it was heartbreaking and devastating and we're all soul crushed, we were still able to laugh and joke about John and his fun times and how he made us all laugh no matter what was happening. Even in the darkest of times of his life and situations, he made people laugh.
That's awesome. Yeah. I wish I would have got to meet him. And, you know, anybody that can make people that have made great influences in my life happy and smiling, you always want to just get to meet them.
Like, who is that person? What are they doing? How'd they do
they
that?
Come through me? You know, so.
Right.
So,
yeah.
so,
So yeah, I just gotta really thank his friends for letting me be a part of that and be in it. And I mean, they even let me go through his room with them. I have a box of things that were John's. Another part about grief and not being time bound or anything, that box of John's things is still sitting on my bedroom floor in the same spot I put it right after I took it from the, you know, I haven't gone through it. I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to bring myself to go through it. I vacuum around it when I clean. It's just sitting there, this little grief box, and one day I'll get through it, you know, maybe piece by piece.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that actually kind of leads into the next question when it comes to that type of stuff. Excuse me. When it comes to that type of stuff, like things, items, and all this other stuff. I mean, people often ask, "How did you get over it?"
Yeah.
How do you feel about that question now?
I think that question in itself is just kind of silly. Because grief has no time limit, you know? You don't get to the end of the steps of acceptance and it's over and I'm over it
Yeah.
now. There's no way to get over grief. Unfortunately, grief is something you just have to push through and you have to feel it. I mean, my dad died when I was 9, and there's still times at my age now where, like, I'll see you interact with your daughters, and I will grieve that I didn't get that. I miss my dad in that moment. And that's what, 20 something years later?
Yeah.
So there's no way a loss from June 1st is out of my mind now. I think no matter what, there's always going to be that you'll always have that. I don't
Yeah.
think you'll ever fully get over it. And I think that's okay. I don't think we should get over losses. I think it's okay to still miss somebody and grieve somebody if it's been 1 year, if it's been 10 years, if it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
That person's still gone.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, think about
Right?
that. It is a really silly question because it's just not something you get over.
Right. It's not a
It's
cold.
it's something you learn to carry with you and get through,
Yeah.
right? But it's not necessarily getting over it. There's no end,
Yeah.
really, essentially.
It's kind of like someone loses their leg and they're like, oh, they'll get over it. You'll get a prosthetic. You'll keep on going.
Yes, yes.
Disclaimer, I can say that. My brother doesn't have legs and he's wonderful. But, like, when you lose somebody, you can't just be getting over it. No, come on. You know, it's not like you wouldn't go up to somebody and say, how'd you get over this loss?
I was thinking about Lieutenant Dan.
And Lieutenant Dan got over his loss too.
That's
Lieutenant
crazy.
Dan got his magic
That's
legs.
crazy.
But I feel like it's like, that's kind of how the question feels to me though,
Yeah.
when somebody asks it, especially soon after grief.
Yeah.
Because you're still feeling it so intensely. At least I feel it so intensely that I feel like I'm missing a piece of me. And it's like, you wouldn't ask me that if my arm got ripped off. Like, how do you get over that? Like, I didn't. I miss my arm. Every day.
For sure. I was just thinking about that when you talked about the stuff and everything, and just the process of going through stuff. That's not a question I had on here, but I want to talk about it a
Yeah.
little bit because that is another part, especially if it's a partner or ex-spouse or someone you're caring for, whatever. We had most of her stuff in a storage unit, so we had just put it in a storage unit probably a month before she passed away,
Right.
helping her get back on her feet. She was about to start a job, all these different things. She was on
Moved into a better place.
everything.
It was looking real up and
It
exciting.
was, and so we just had a bunch of her stuff in storage because she was just renting out a bedroom and not a place anymore. But when she passed away, it was like 7 days before the end of the month, and they were letting me know, like, hey, if you don't pay, once this thing locks, you're getting nothing.
Right.
So I just remember just snapping into, okay, we got to clean the storage unit out
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky today. And that's what I did. Luckily, one of her cousins lived about 25 minutes away, like in Yale. And they let us use their car garage to put everything until I had time to go through it. But when I didn't have time to go through it emotionally for about almost 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. I'm right on track with you here, bro.
And you know what? It might have even been longer.
Yeah.
It just got to the point where her cousin was still grieving the loss, and anytime her cousin even went out to the garage to look at stuff or get something, she would break down because they were
It
best
was
friends
all right
growing up.
there.
Yep.
Oh, that's tough.
So, but that whole 6-8 months, I'm in go, being a great father, doing things with my daughter, trying to stay active, busy.
Right.
And about that time to go through the stuff or figure out what we're going to do because some stuff just either need to be sold or trash, whatever.
Right.
I did not realize how much I had been holding back. I went to that place. Dropped off my daughter, let her go have fun upstairs. The kids went upstairs, and most houses they have that door into the house from the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Her cousin walked me back to that door, opened up the garage, and she's like, "Yeah, just kind of whatever you guys want to keep or take with you today, we can figure that out." And the plan was for me to just organize it to a point where, okay, this is donation, this is going to the house, this is going to this garbage, whatever.
Right.
And as soon as she closed the door and went back into the house, bawled. I mean, I like cried.
Emotion just crushed you,
Everything hit, and I had no experience. Never experienced anything like that outside of just like sometimes the presence of God in certain days,
right,
for sure. But in a hurt sense, never.
That was brand new.
That was brand new, and it was so hard because I'm thinking of all the stuff we bought together, or that I bought for her, or what all these things.
Yeah.
And now, what am I supposed to do with this stuff?
All these little things that look like just junk in a box is all these little memories.
Correct.
It's all these little feelings.
Correct.
It's all these little things that were, but also what could have been.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that gets me a lot about grief too, is people are like, oh yeah, you're grieving this person who's passed and they're gone now. And yes, I am, but I'm also grieving what that person was to me and what could have been.
Yep.
Where we could have gone from there,
Yep, because that's the thing too that we don't think about is there, or that we don't know about, is that the going through this stuff, I had to go through it by myself. Mm-hmm. For everybody's situation, I would encourage maybe having somebody with you if you can. That may have helped.
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready to go through it, give me a call.
Come on over.
But yeah, that's a thing, right? There are things that are going to remind you, or that you kept, and it's just like, they have stories, and more stories start popping back up.
Yeah.
And for us, we're at least talking about people we loved or had relation with. There are some people who grieve people that they didn't have a relation with or didn't love at all.
Right.
But there are certain little things that may remind you of a good time, or whatever.
A silly memory.
A silly memory. And it may not have been the greatest person in the world, but you're still gonna find something to grieve about.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay, too. Okay, yeah. I think that's another thing about grief is people are still allowed to grieve people that weren't the best people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my father wasn't the best dad growing up. He didn't take care of me like he should. But there was definitely a moment in my life where I was like, I shouldn't grieve this man. Like, he wasn't there for me. I was abandoned and left, and why should I grieve this man? I shouldn't have to. But I think that was another part of like denial/anger of grieving, where I was just trying to not feel those feelings and be like, oh, I shouldn't feel these feelings because of this. Yeah. And it's okay. You're going to grieve people that maybe didn't treat you the best, or you didn't end things the best with. And you can still grieve those good, happy moments, you know? I can still grieve the one time I remember him making homemade strawberry ice cream in the summer, And I can grieve, like, falling asleep on the couch with him and just feeling safe because I was my dad, you know? Yeah. And so it's okay to grieve anybody you want to. Yeah. Don't let somebody tell you can't grieve a loss.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of the grieving and stuff, even after 20 some odd years, we still have the recent ones, of course. What has healing actually looked like for you?
Healing has looked like a lot of acceptance and lenience of myself. Because I think with grief and going through it multiple times with multiple people, unfortunately, it all hits very different. I think with our parents, society is like, your parents die before you and then you go. So there's a little bit more acceptance of losing a parent or a grandparent, because that's historically how things should be.
Yeah.
I think this loss with John really took me off, really surprised me, I guess, because it was like we had known each other such a short time, but I had serious feelings for this man. We were seeing what a future would look like together, if it was going to work, what it was going to be. And to have it all just taken away so abruptly, it's hard. And I think allowing myself to grieve is healing. Healing is going down to the beach. Like I said, one of my hobbies, I started that hobby with John. 4 days before he passed away, it was finally sunny enough. We went down to the waterfront. He knew I loved sea animals. We went down there. We flipped rocks. He even flipped and dug some rocks. He was in Nike Dunks because he was a sneakerhead. I picked him up and I said, "Sir, we're going to the beach. What are you wearing?" But he still got in there with me, and he flipped rocks. He even picked up a crab. Like, I think that's part of healing is after he passed away, I didn't want to go down there and do that because that was like a fun memory I associated with him. Healing is going down there and doing that activity again and feeling joy again and not feeling regret that he's not there. Healing is being able, one thing we used to do together on work nights is we would have our little slumber parties and we would watch true crime documentaries. I know it's very silly, but we were very into true crime. And so there were certain shows that we would save up and we would watch together, or certain series. And after he passed, I stopped watching those shows. I just let him sit there and build up because I was like, oh no, that's me and John's thing. I can't do that with someone else, or I can't do that with myself because that was me and John's thing. And it's actually been just recently, like within the last month or so, I've watched some of those shows. And before, when I would see like the icons of the show on my like subscription or whatever, I'd get sad because it'd be like, oh, a new episode. And it was like, oh, another episode me and John don't get to see. But now I'm able to watch that. That's healing. That's progress. I think healing is just being okay with whatever you're feeling in that moment. You're allowed to feel horrible forever if you want to. You're allowed to feel sad for as long as you need to or not. You're allowed to laugh and have happiness and enjoy times with other people. I think that's probably the biggest part of healing is when you're able to like sit back with your friends again and laugh and actually enjoy it without having to think about like, oh yeah, my person.
That is so different than what it looks like for me. But it's like that's the part that a lot of people need to hear. Like you can laugh again. You can get out and do things again, or even continue the habits you guys started or created, or the fun activities, whatever. You can do it again. And for me, healing looked like going to certain locations where we had a good time, like where she used to live or where we used to live, and just sitting in the car in the parking lot and just being thankful for the times we did have. Driving around, certain songs,
music, right?
Music. That was a good one.
Man,
that was a good one. It's just and then just pictures, and then of course healing. It looks like just loving my daughter a little more, and appreciating her a little more.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, I can get better at that with certain areas, but these kids,
in the end, they are kids.
Something's in the juice. Something's in the juice for sure. But it was because my daughter, when I became that full-time dad overnight like that, it actually helped me process emotions and feelings. I didn't, men, we don't feel, we drill. We just build it. But it was a thing like, okay, I gotta learn to not try to solve her issue or her what's making her cry right now.
Right.
I gotta learn to just be in it, and like you said, feel what you're feeling and allow yourself to feel that moment.
Yes.
Whatever that is.
Whatever feeling it is.
If you need to cry, there were times that driving around, I'm stopping to cry. But now I'm learning to let the cry happen.
Yeah.
Because you just gotta allow yourself to feel that.
You do. And bottling it up is so much worse for us too.
It's worse. It's worse because what you're doing is you're allowing yourself not to release.
Yes.
And you're just constantly building something up for a bigger explosion later.
100%. And to have all that grief and pain and sorrow just sitting with you,
it's not good.
It's hard. It's sad. It's bad for our bodies. It's bad for our minds. Bad for our souls.
Yeah, because it'll start to affect the relationships around you.
Yes.
Especially if it was something bitter, like in your situation, it was just taken away that fast.
Yeah.
And my situation, it was more like, okay, I'm now responsible for this child by myself. And like, how dare you? Like now I'm looking at single parents I'm looking at some of them differently.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of them differently, like, dang, at least your baby mamas are here,
Right.
And
yeah, you may not be together, but you got...
But at least she alive. At least so you... And that was one thing, I will say this. That was one thing that I talked to you about. The person I was dating at the time, we won't mention her name. The person I was dating at the time, with all fairness, like the relationship, everything was good. It was just some different things. That's okay. Disagreements, whatever. They had said something negative, which is normal, about my daughter's mom before she passed away. Like, I'm on the phone with her. She's like, yep, she's just typical, Caitlyn stuff. I was like, you know what, time out. We're gonna stop that right now.
Yeah.
Only because I can't allow you to say something about her, because a part of her is in my daughter. So if we're going to become a thing, I need you to respect her as much as you're going to respect my daughter.
Absolutely.
If you hate anything about her, then you hate
something about my daughter. Yeah.
So we don't, no, only I talk the crap. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to deal with them both every day. But
you can commemorate with me, but let's not get out of hand.
Exactly. Because you don't have to be here, but they gonna forever be here.
Lifers. Lifers.
Right. So that's just how that conversation was.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to allow yourself to come to that place where you are just being positive about it. You are trying to encourage people that are in similar situations. If they, like, for me, it was people who had baby mamas or baby daddies. It's like, hey, you know what? For the kids, just be positive.
Yeah.
Speak life about that person. Even if you don't agree with them, just speak the best for them. Because had I not shifted my mindset, the way I treat my daughter could be a lot worse.
It could be, absolutely.
And I was able to break that cycle of negative talking while she was alive and speak positive about her to other people while she was alive.
I remember that time.
Yeah,
that was a big pivotal moment.
Yeah, so now that she's gone, there's no regret. I'm not blaming my daughter even, or anything like that.
Or having guilt on yourself that you were like, why did I talk so bad of her, or not help her, not treat her how I should.
So I encourage anybody that's in that situation, at least in mine, man, just talk positive about your baby mama, baby daddy, whatever. You at one point y'all agreed to sleep together, so at this point y'all should agree to be positive.
That one. That's the one.
Y'all got married and all this other stuff, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So. But yeah, I'm so with his friend group or his friends. Are you still?
Yeah. So actually, after the memorial, a lot of them added me on like social medias. Okay. His birthday was in September. I got together with one of his friends, Christina. Hey, girl. She and I have actually become closer since he passed. We went. She sat by me at the funeral. We went out after for his birthday. We went out and we got breakfast together and we poured out a Rainier for him and just talked about him and his things and how we're angry at him for leaving, but also the love and just how we're processing everything, which has been a really cool thing to be able to sit down with somebody who loved John and knew him and be able to grieve him together. And then, like, he was a big Dolphins fan, and so his friends, all got together when the Dolphins had a big game. I know nothing about sports, so don't ask me which one. I don't think Dolphins have any big games because I hear they're pretty bad.
They're
Pretty bad.
yeah.
Which John knew too, but they were still his team. But, like, they, planned a big outing where they all went to a bar and, like, celebrated the game, and they invited me to that. I didn't get to make it because I had another thing. So it's been cool that they've still reach out and invite me to those things and let me be a part of it and include me in it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know?
I'm happy for you on that. That is something we kind of didn't get. We still kind of don't have.
Right.
But we still stay in contact with her parents. At least my daughter calls them at least every weekend at least. And, but yeah, I mean, there's other things involved in that, but we won't get all into that. But yeah, I would say that this is the second to last question. But what surprised you the most about grief?
Oh, just how it can hit you, I think. I think with grief, since it isn't structured and it's not in steps and you get to acceptance and it's over, I think that's the part about grief that surprised me is it keeps going forever. Like I'd said earlier, I still get sad about not having a dad, watching dads interact with their kids. With John, I mean, I'll hear a song on the radio and I'll start crying thinking about him, but then I'll also hear a song and laugh thinking about him too, grief can get you at any time. Anytime. You could be having what you think is the best day after losing that person, and you may get home and one little thought will trigger you and you'll be crying for a while, and that's okay. It's okay to cry. And then there's also like the happiness and grief too, which people don't talk about, like I'm grateful and happy that I have Christina to go out on John's birthday and celebrate him with her, and she wants to celebrate him too. And it's okay to have those moments of happiness inside of grief. And don't feel guilty about it. You're allowed to. Your person wouldn't want you to be miserable and awful for the rest of your life. That's no way to live a life. So I think the biggest thing about grief is it surprises you. It jumps in. It gets you when you don't expect it. There's days, even I'll be at work helping somebody, and they'll talk about grief they've experienced, and some days I'm totally fine and strong, and I'm like, hey, I know that. I've been through that. Let me help you with this. And then some days I'm like, oh, girl, me too, actually, right? It can hit you all at different times. That's the surprising part about grief. And the part, I learned that earlier, but the part where it's not linear. You don't get to just go through the steps and be done. I think it's just this forever circle that's around you. And sometimes, maybe you're a little ball bouncing around in the circle and that grief is always around you. And sometimes you're in the middle and nothing touches you and you're totally fine. But sometimes you may hit the wall of that circle of grief and you'll feel that pain again. And I don't think it's something that'll ever end. I think it's just something you have to learn to accept. It's a part of you now.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because even for me, as strong as I had gotten over it, or just not necessarily gotten over it, but have gotten and was able to live life through it. Push through it, right? I since then remarried. Yeah. Had a kid. Yeah. And like life to me at that time was like, okay, we're good. We're great. Right. But old anniversaries or birthdays come up, or just flat out just anything, certain dishes that were being made, like when I'm cooking, I'm like, oh, she used to cook that all the time, right? Or whatever. What surprised me the most is grieving while still loving someone else.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. You're allowed to.
And it was like, wait, no, I love my wife. I'm happy in my marriage. Why am I
sad about her still?
About this other person, my ex-wife. What is going on? Like, what the hell? you know,
And then how does someone compare to someone that's not even alive anymore? Like, how do
correct.
you,
Like,
so you feel like you're trying to put them through something else.
exactly. And, you know, the one thing I really appreciate about my wife is she has created that space for me to do so, to do that about another woman.
Right? Which is incredible. Which is incredible.
Well, some of y'all need to figure it out. But
You
anyway,
do.
yeah,
No, you
for real.
do.
Because I'm like, and you, men, I'll speak to y'all too for sure. If you're in this situation, man, you have to be open with your spouse, your partner, whoever. If there was a female loss in your life,
Yeah.
be open with them about that, because you need a safe place to be able to process that. And there is still things that I feel like I can't keep bringing this up to my wife about, like missing her, or just missing the fact that my daughter doesn't have her mom, or
Right.
whatever, right? But I remember just letting my wife know, like, hey, you know what? I just got to drive around for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I love you. Of course, you know, we're good. We're happy. Everything's great. This is just a tough season right now. Thanksgiving is always tough. You know,
Yeah.
he's passed away just 3 days before Thanksgiving. You know, it's all, and then their birthday's like right around all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that time of the year, I mean, actually this year she's been passed away for 3 years, and around this time of Thanksgiving, I actually took 2 mental health days
Good.
off work. I didn't know why I was feeling weird.
And then you realized,
And I
oh,
was like,
it's that time of
it's
season.
just I'm just in that. So I'm like, all right, I need to allow myself time away from work,
Yeah.
because I'm going to get busy again, stay busy, and not feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I just remember saying, you know what, no, this time of the year, I'm going to probably just take the week off or whatever.
Yeah.
Just wherever, however long you got to do it, however long you got to feel
Just sit in it and be in it.
Yeah, because there's no time, there's no place, there's no amount of happiness or relationship, you know, fillers that you can do. And I know all about filling up relationships and people. So none of that works,
It
gentlemen.
only works for so long in that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, ladies and gents, filling voids.
You're going to have to fill the void, but you're going to have to FEEL, not FILL. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That is exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so yeah, you can't, but yeah, no, well, it's speaking on that as far as advice goes and things, not feel and feel. But you know, if someone is early in their grief right now, what is one thing you wish someone would have told you, or something that you would tell them, as far as?
Ooh, that's a good one, because I think that's a really hard conversation too, is a lot of people don't know how to react to you and be with you after you've lost someone. I've noticed, you know, people are scared to bring it up, of course, which, because you don't want to bring that up. Yeah. People are afraid to talk about it, especially people who have never experienced grief or loss of any kind. They're like, oh, I don't know how to act about this. It makes them feel uncomfortable and awkward. But it's okay. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be in it. It's okay to be around people. Just know one day it's going to hurt a little less. And the day after that, it may hurt a little less. Yeah. I think that's the one thing with grief that brings me some type of peace and solitude. I mean, today I thought I was going to cry a lot more than I did. Yeah. I feel like I did really good. I mostly cried about Nevaeh and not even John. Sorry, John. But it's going to be okay. And it's not going to be okay in the sense of like, oh, you're going to be happy and fine and everything will be wonderful again. But one day this grief that I know right now is just crushing you, and it feels like you're suffocated in it, and it's surrounding you from every angle in the like thick of it, and this fog of grief is around you, right? And it's so thick you can't see through it, and you don't understand how you'll ever get through this. You will. You will. And there's not certain steps you have to take or do. It looks different for everybody. Be okay sitting in it and crying, and be okay telling people you're not okay.
Yeah.
I think that's something I really did this time with John. I think before, like losing my dad, my stepdad, my sister, people were like, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
strong. I'm good. I'm brave.
Right.
I'm okay." And this time, people will ask, and if I'm having a bad day, I'll say, I'm not having a good day.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard day with my grief. I'm having a hard day with the loss of my friend.
Yeah, man.
I'm okay admitting it, and be okay admitting it. That's okay. It doesn't mean you're weak.
Yeah.
It means that you're feeling things and you're going through it. So just know, no matter how thick of a fog this grief has over you right now, at one point that fog is going to lift a little bit and you're going to see a little bit of light and you're going to get through it. And it may not be tomorrow, it may not be in 5 months, but in 7 months you may wake up and be like, okay, this hurts a little less.
A little less.
And it'll hurt a little less again.
Yep.
And it'll hurt a little less again.
Yep.
And that's how grief is. It's never gonna not hurt all the way.
Correct.
I don't think.
Right.
I'm 36 now. I was 9 when I lost my dad. I still can be hurt about that sometimes. That's okay. And that's okay for you guys too. Be okay being hurt.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of it.
Hurt a little less. I like
Hurt
that.
a little less.
Hurt a little less. Dang, it sounds like
You
a
know?
country song.
It does a little bit, right? But I feel like people are always like, "Oh, you'll be okay. You'll get through this. You'll get over
for
it."
sure, yeah.
They say that a lot. You'll get over it. And I don't like that statement as much because I don't think we'll ever get over it. You're going to get through it
Yeah.
because that's what it is. We're people. We persevere. We keep going. But it'll just hurt a little less.
Hurt a little less. I like that. I would just say, like, process. Just take time to process. Take the time to process, because I tried to just be busy route.
Yeah.
Just get stuff done, and I think you need to allow yourself time to process it. Whatever that looks like, because the minute I actually got to process it, it was a lot of all at once emotions.
Right. Very overwhelming.
Overwhelming, especially for me trying to be the strong person. I've always been a strong person. I never really cried at funerals or anything. I was always the class clown, everything. I've cried at 2. One was my cousin, who was pretty much the same age as me, and I had to basically be like the MC at her funeral. And that was crazy, but her mom trusted me to do that, and we did it. So I cried at that one because, I mean, young,
Yeah.
right? And then my mom's aunt, and that was like 20-something odd years ago.
Right.
But there go my baby. I don't know if y'all can hear her, but she talking.
She
But, so, yeah, giving yourself time to process it and allowing yourself the space to process it.
Yeah, that's a good one, I think. Definitely.
Perfect. Oh, well, I got one more question for you. We're going to try to end this
Okay,
thing.
let's
I
see
really
here.
appreciate you on this one. So let's talk about this. Again, this podcast is not perfect, but ready.
Yes.
We're here to choose progress over perfection. We're here for people who feel like they are ready to overcome and become, but they have found themselves trying to make sure they had all these things in order, or everything just had to be right and ready. And it's like, no, it doesn't. You're ready when you think about it. The minute you think about that idea, you're ready to start.
Yeah.
The minute you think about that business, you're ready to open it. You just need to start putting in that work. Don't wait till everything's perfect.
Right.
Because at that point, you'll be waiting forever.
You'll be long and gone by then, brother.
Enjoy the progress.
Yes.
Enjoy the process even, right? So as far as what I'm learning or what I'm going to start doing is ending each episode, especially when I have a guest, with a question. And that question is, yes, I got to read because I'm still learning. In this season of your life, what does choosing progress over perfection look like for you?
Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, right now in my healing journey, progress looks like enjoying the things we used to enjoy together.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, perfection, I don't think anyone ever like achieves perfection.
Mm.
And it is all about the progress. And if you get a little bit better, you're going to get where you want to be. So right now, it just looks like enjoying the things we used to enjoy. It looks like maybe going home after this and taking one thing out of his box,
Yeah.
finding a space for it. Progress for me right now is just feeling happy and loved and loving the people around me.
There we go.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
I think as long as you have a group of people around you, someone you can count on, and you love them and they love you, that's it, That's what we're looking for.
That's dope. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, Lenae, thank you again for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me.
Started here in the bottom, we working our way to the top. But yeah, no, I'm so thankful for this. I can't wait to see what life looks like next for both of us. But
Yeah.
for you for sure in this just in this healing journey. So thank you all again for tuning in to the Not Perfect But Ready podcast, where we are choosing progress over perfection every time. I'll see y'all in the next one.
Nice.